Week 51 of PB Sports Talk. Here we are again, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Luke on the other side in Michigan at the current moment, and I'm in Florida. Luke, good morning. What's going on, man?
Good morning. Not much. Excited for the show.
Yeah, you ready for what we got going on, Mr. Young Buck? You think you got half my age? You think you got what it takes to beat this old man? I'm not sure, man. Been around the block a few million times, I think. So this is going to be fun. We got a full show for you, and I'll pop that up on the screen here right now just so you can kind of get an idea of what we have going. We're going to go over the Lions and Ravens preview. One Pride fans, this is a big game, and we'll dive into that. Talk a little bit about the history of the Lions in Baltimore. It has not been very good. For the first time ever live on our show, we're going to go pick by pick of the NFL against the spread. Luke's going to have an opportunity to go through them. Then I will go through them. These, again, are against the spread picks. They are FanDuel's lines as of basically 20, 30 minutes here before the show. So we'll go one by one on that. We will go 5 college games, and we'll start the show with that in a moment. His picks and then my picks, and then it should just be fun. And we're going to keep a tally and a track of this throughout the year. And we'll make it fun as we go along and razz each other. And I don't know, maybe I'll have Luke wash my car a couple thousand times or something after I win, maybe, yeah. Or clean the rims or something like that. He's a handyman. Maybe I'll have him hang a TV or two. We'll see what happens. We'll make this really, really fun. As far as the normal PB's picks at the Capper Tech site that you see on the screen there, you will find props, parlays, and totals for all tomorrow's games, and then not all of tomorrow's games, but quite a few of them. And then later on this afternoon, you'll be able to see some of the college picks, most likely the 3:30, 7:30, and perhaps even the late night games. So those will still be available for you. It's just the spread picks is what we're going to do here today. So, Luke, before we get into the picks, on the TBD section there with the 3 question marks, I'm going to just start out on the PB for 3 segment, and I'm going to cover something that I did a video on, I believe it was Tuesday. And, Luke, if you can adjust your camera just a little bit, it appears to be blurry. I don't know if you have to adjust it or wipe the lens or something. You're really, really blurry. So anyways, on the PB for 3 segment, it is with regards to Ashton Giante of the Raiders. And what's really, really wild is, Ryan Clark, who I agree with him on that. It's a little bit better, Luke. It's still kind of in and out. It probably has to do with your lighting. Maybe you want to turn that lamp on behind you. It might help. Ryan Clark, I never agree with anything he says, but I caught just a clip and a glimpse of it last night about sometimes, you look in your room or you look on the field and you think maybe you picked the wrong guy. I'm not willing to go that far yet on Giante, but I did put about an 8-minute video out. If you're not currently following us, please do so on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. That's the number 1 and first place that all of our material goes. All of the videos, all of the posts, etc. And this 8-minute clip talked about how prior to the draft, I had talked about you don't take Giante at 6. There's basically no running back in history. The majority of running backs in history, you don't do that. Perhaps like a Barry Sanders who went 3. It's just a special talent. You can just see that. Boise State, Ashton Giante, the focus of the offense. Yeah, it all looked pretty. But does it translate to the NFL? And I think there's a very big question. It's early, 2 games in, but as I mentioned in the video the other day, he's small. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle protection. He's got blown up on multiple blocks. He looks slow. And sometimes you can look quick, obviously, in college, but the game speed ratchets up, like tenfold at the NFL level. And what you used to be able to do in college, it gets exposed in the NFL, and we might, and I emphasize, might be seeing that with Giante. I want to give the guys some time, but 100% TreVeyon Henderson, I had said, was equal or better the pick, particularly for where you would take him I wanted the Raiders at 37 to take him at 37, or to move up if necessary, if they had to. What I would also say is TreVeyon Henderson, underutilized. I was worried about Billy Ball. Vrabel and McDaniels are not playing him much. They're playing Ramondre Stevenson, and no one is saying that it should be a one majority back. That just doesn't really happen anymore. Saquon Barkley is one of the very few guys that takes the load of the totes like that. I understand it's got to be split, but they got to get Henderson on the field. He can do it all, and I think he is the superior player between him and Giante. So we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I have egg on my face, or maybe this goes down as one of the PB predictions. We'll see. But if I'm a Raider fan, and we have a lot of them, Luke, that follow us, I'd be pretty concerned about that. Anything you want to add before we get into the college picks?
Yeah, I would compare it to Bijan when he came into the league on the Falcons. Or I'm talking about Henderson. Everyone wanted him to get more touches and stuff, and they were giving the ball to Algier for no reason. And they just started using Bijan like the right way, I guess. This year, third year in, I believe. So, yeah,
that's a good analogy, because they really brought him slow.
Yeah, so it just happens. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're gonna maybe this year turn him up a little bit or wait. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to see what he does when he gets the chance. He's a player for sure.
On Giante, though, what do you make of that? Do you think there's a Boise State factor there and playing a lesser opponent?
Yeah, I think the translation is it's already a big jump from like the SEC to the NFL. So it's just that much bigger of a gap. I mean, people do it all the time, but it's not a perfect science. I think, it's a big transition, especially a lot of his stats were from the amount of carries that he got. And it was a durability factor kind of thing that really got him those numbers. He's talented. Yes, I'm not saying he's not good or anything, but yeah, I think it's just transition, and I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be good in the next couple of years, but he's got it's just a whole different game. It's so much faster and everything. Everyone's bigger, stronger, faster, and
what do you make of him talking about getting the ball more?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know. I think that's what he's got to say, right? What do you I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
keep your head down.
About that, we talk about that a lot, and I personally don't care as long as it's not a quarterback. I think I'm really headstrong on that. Like if you're a receiver or a running back or whatever, those guys say what you want to say. It doesn't matter. Say like wear your emotions on your sleeve. As long as you're not a quarterback saying, I need to throw more, I need to do this and that.
I know, but he got there 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, right. It's rushed for sure, but everyone's so excited that I think it came off a little arrogant for sure, saying you don't draft a guy like me to. Well, I as a player, if I'm on his team, I like that, because it is a big transition, and he wants the ball more. He wants to, he wants to speed the process up, which is exciting. I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's Spytek and Brady very, very shocked that they took him at 6 when you have the defensive issues that they have, and you need a running game too. But there's a lot of guys that can solve that problem, and at 6, I don't see the value in that. But we'll let it play out, and we'll see what happens. All right, college football players, those of you that like to play for entertainment purposes only, we're going to pop this up here. Let me get this up in a second here. All right, we've got 5 games on the board that we selected. They involve pretty much the 3 major games, and then for those in Michigan, because we're Michigan residents, or I used to be a Michigan resident for my entire life until about 7 months ago. We threw that in there. A couple Big Ten games. So we'll start with Texas Tech and Utah. Luke, you're the young gun. So you get first dibs on this to talk to our audience about what you think.
All right. Before I get started, I gotta say, you gotta stop calling yourself an old man. You're not that old.
Well, I appreciate it, but I'm
A
double
little,
your age.
you're older than me, but I wouldn't call you. I know you got the grays on the side, but you're not an old man yet.
Sophisticated look.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Texas Tech at Utah. I'm gonna take Utah with the. I'll give Texas Tech the points. High-powered offense, but Utah's got a surprisingly good defense this year. So I'm going Utah. Michigan, Nebraska. This is a big one. This is where it's like kind of what we were talking about with the Lions. Like, who are you? When they lost to Oklahoma, that was in Oklahoma. That's a reasonable loss. But do you compound that the next week by playing bad, or 2 weeks later by playing bad? So I got Michigan. I got them bouncing back. I think this has a lot to do with coaching and culture. This kind of game. Nebraska's good though. It's not a slouch, but I'm taking Michigan. I think it should be a higher spread, to be honest with you. That seems free to me. Auburn at Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma covering. You don't go into Norman and put up points.
You're not biased. You're not biased at all.
I got Michigan and Oklahoma. Yeah, maybe I am a little biased, but yeah, Jackson Arnold, quarterback for Auburn, was the quarterback for one of the worst Oklahoma teams in history last year. The fans don't like him. It's rowdy. He's got something to prove. Oklahoma's got something to prove. That Oklahoma's playing for a big season. They want to run the SEC this year, and this is their first SEC chance. So it's an interesting game, good storyline, but I think Oklahoma's for real this year, and this is their first chance to really show it without any question marks. Michigan was freshman quarterback. Who are they this year? We don't know. Auburn. They're good. So it's their first chance. Give me Oklahoma. Then Florida versus Miami. I got Miami covering. I don't know how Florida comes out and goes into Miami, and they are so defeated right now. Their season's over. The seniors' season's over. They're not making a bowl. They might not even make a bowl game. And what even does that mean anymore with the 12-team playoff? Bowl games don't even play. Like they're out of the playoffs. And Miami's playing for something. So I think that's huge, especially with guys at the college level. There's no like bonus incentives or anything like late in the NFL season. But yeah, Miami should blow them out, I think. And then Illinois, Indiana. I'm not sure either of these teams are all that, but I got Illinois covering. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and 6.5 is just too much to cover on the low end. I don't. Yeah, I think Indiana wins by like 4.5. If it was 4.5, I would take Indiana, but 6.5 just feels like too much. So give me Illinois.
Gotcha. So this is interesting to already see how this lays out, folks. We've talked. We don't know who's picking what. We left it that way on purpose, so when we know when you know, type of thing. In the past, other weeks, he might say something and I say something and we don't totally agree. But to have this actually be on record right now, it's basically we disagree on these games. So starting with Texas Tech and Utah, I think Texas Tech's got a little bit of special to them. I watched them last week, and Baron Morton is pretty talented. It is a high-powered offense. If you think about the late Mike Leach and what he used to do at Texas Tech with those high-power offenses, Cliff Kingsbury after that. And then every time they got in a big game, they kind of folded up and they got exposed. It was tricked up and such. I'm not sure that that's the case here, and I'm not a big buyer in Utah defensively that way. I actually think you got to jump on the 3.5 and take Texas Tech with the points over Utah, even though it's in Utah. And by the way, the body clock for Texas Tech is playing at 10 a.m. So that's hard for a college athlete. It's hard for any athlete to play these games where they're in a completely different time zone. Imagine when you go to Vegas or something and you're in the Midwest or something and the clock goes 3 hours behind, and it just throws you off. So it ought to be interesting to see how that plays out, but I got Texas Tech plus the 3.5. Nebraska and Michigan. To me, this is a bit of a trick line. You're just being baited to take this. Luke thinks it should be more. I actually don't. I think Luke's Luke's buddy Patrick Mahomes is mini me. I think he's going to pull this out. And there's a part of this is tough. There's a part of me that says that Michigan takes care of business, but I'm going the other way with Nebraska on this. And I think they pull it out. Oklahoma, it's a no match, and I am familiar with Jackson Darnold. I did watch him pretty closely last year. I had Oklahoma a couple times last year with him, and that was not good. So I think Oklahoma, there's something about it. Mateer's the real deal. I'll give you credit on that, Luke. You were on him, very, very early, and they are playing for something much bigger than a conference or anything like that. They have a chance to do some things, and defensively they're very, very good too. So it seems like a complete team. And when you're in games like this, you usually see the quarterback play separate itself from the other team. And I think that this is primed to do this. It is in Oklahoma. The crowd will be rowdy. So I think you got to take Boomer Sooner on this. And this is probably closer to a 13 point type win. Miami and playing Florida, absolutely 100% Miami, another team that's playing for something special. Everything's changed for the Canes. You could say that's Carson back. You can say, I don't know, you could say Mario Cristobal is really done a hell of a job after, basically being booed out of the universe for those mistakes that he made. But I think Miami just absolutely blitzes them. Billy Napier is already on the way out. I agree with you, Luke, that their season is basically over. Anyone who has pro talent, even if they were to make a bowl game, those guys aren't playing in, the Easter Bowl or whatever the hell you want to call it, the Luke Fromm Bowl. I mean, it's crazy, and it's demoralizing. And it probably don't feel, I mean, yeah, this is, you want to win this game, and maybe you want to do it for Arnold, but I don't just because it's a, in-state game, rivalry game, I just don't see it. The Indiana-Illinois game is this big-time struggle for me. Altmaier has been interesting to me over the years, but every time dude plays a big game, he does not come up big, in my opinion. And I'm not sure number 9 is going to do that today either. Mendoza has played really well for Indiana. I can't stand Cignetti. He really bothers me. But I see this, again, line is 6.5. That seems steep, but I think it's there for a reason. So I got to take Indiana minus the 6.5.
So Luke, we got some disagreements. Let me sprinkle something on real quick, though. That Florida game you're talking about, as far as being defeated, it's different when it's a team like Florida. They started as a top 10 team, and it just all went away so fast. If they were,
but how were they ranked a top 10 team?
I don't know. What DJ Lagway was supposed to be, he was like a Heisman favorite, and
I watched him a lot last year too. Yeah.
I'm
not sold on him, and I wasn't last year either.
Seems
like a running guy to me. I don't see him being able to stand back there and make the throws as necessary.
No, but when that goes away, like if you look at like a Vanderbilt or something who's expected to do nothing, even if their bowl hopes or their playoff hopes are gone, they look forward to making a bowl game because that's like they started off in the mud.
Yeah.
Florida was top tier, and now it's like, oh, we're going to go play in the Alamo Bowl or whatever. Like, it's just, it's deflating for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we agree on 2 and disagree on 3. That started out with a bang. So we're definitely not going to be tied at the end of the weekend as far as college. So
yeah,
we'll get to the pros a little bit later, but we're going to switch over here to the Lions and Ravens Monday Night Football, and the Lions have not done well in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. It's up here. Where did it go? It's right here. 4 total games, and the Lions have been outscored 149-39 in Baltimore. That is basically insane.
Yeah.
And hard kind of to understand, but yet you can kind of understand it at the same point in time. So again, in Baltimore, Luke, and as far as I'm concerned, this is as much of a must win this Monday as it was against the Bears last week. As the Lions have gone through this resurrection of the state and of the city of Detroit, and when I say resurrection, I don't know what you resurrected from, but you resurrected away from the SOL, and it's a quality organization run really, really well. Obviously, 2 terrific years and a body of work over 4 that has led up to this moment. But this is one of those things that they are primed and in a position to put to rest. This is just one more block, if you will, that you could say, hey, we have to take pride in this. We have to make a better showing, and we have to get this stench off of us. Baltimore, I know we talked in preseason. You were kind of high on Baltimore. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm not as high on Baltimore, and you know my thoughts on Lamar Jackson, and I don't think they've played well the first 2 weeks. They were asleep at the wheel for an entire half against the Browns, and of course, the Lions in week 1 looked terrible, much better in week 2, so it kind of collides. Both teams need to win this game, and again, I think Campbell's got to be all over this. I think the Lions internally policing themselves, which is one of the strengths of this team, is they don't necessarily need a coach to yell at them. They have the internal ability to monitor themselves. Luke, what's your overall thoughts about the game before we actually talk predictions?
Yeah,
in the meaning of it.
You might have just swayed me a little bit. You made some good points. I was gonna say, in my head, I was thinking, it's not a must win, but it's a must. You can't go out and lay an egg like you did versus Green Bay. It's a must, and it's a hostile environment. Everything's against them. It's a must, show out and do your thing, because Lamar can, however you feel about him, he can change a game. He can win you a game any given Sunday. Sometimes he loses you games, but he could be Superman. So things can happen. And I know last week I was saying Lions are playing. There's no excuses. It's win or set the city on fire. But this week is more, it feels more like we need to go play good, because in the big scheme of things, like playoff wise, it's not necessarily a must win. Like if we lose, it's like I'm looking at it more as a judge, but we have different views on Baltimore. So if I was low on Baltimore like you, I would feel the same way. I still think that they're a contender. So it's
of what? The Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, everything's got to come together, but they
eventually this year or eventually in another year?
Eventually this year. I think they figure it out this year. I mean, they win their division, no problem, and then we'll see if they get hot at the end. But I think it's more of a gauge on where we stand, because if you look at other sports shows, Lions aren't even in the top 10 of people's things. Ravens are, even though they're playing bad, they're still 5, 6, 7. So it's a gauge, but a win would be freaking awesome. Like that would be great.
Yeah. So what I see is a couple of fold. Number one, it's probably better that people are down on the Lions versus this is our sexy pick and this is who's going to the Super Bowl and all this. I have them going to the Super Bowl, 5-year prediction. This is the last year, etc. So I'm on record for that. But last year was like everybody, Sports Illustrated, this, that. This is a show me game. This is a barometer game. This is a measuring stick to see where you are. But the Lions are positioned, and I've said this ad nauseum, they are positioned and primed to beat any team any way you want it. They can play multiple ways against Baltimore. In my opinion, Baltimore cannot play multiple ways. I believe the Lions' game plan is going to be to stop the run. I mean, that's been that way forever. And you're going to force Lamar Jackson to beat you with his arm. And anytime you do that against Baltimore, you give yourself a better chance to win. Make him make the throws. because I don't think he can. And I think he's proven that over his 7 or 8 years that that's the weakest part of his game. Now, if you're undisciplined and you don't play your gaps right and you don't protect the backside and things like that, and you overrun plays and you run a wide 9 and you give him opportunity to use his legs, he's going to use them and he'll beat you that way. And when he gets out wide and everybody's chasing and he's, hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage, he's going to throw the ball 20 yards across his body and hit Andrews or something for a big play. But when you keep him contained a little bit and you force him on a platform, on a spot to make those throws, and you don't let him get off his spot. I know that sounds counterintuitive, right? Typically you want to get a quarterback off his spot, keep him contained and make him make the throw. Anzalone, Campbell, these guys are primed to be able to stop Henry, and they're primed to be able to contain Lamar. And I love, I made a video about this too. Quadin Muhammad they want to get him more time. Davenport's out. He's the more speedy guy, the more urgent guy. And I think that's a good time for this to happen against Baltimore.
I agree. I agree. And it's something that we used to talk about at all levels, actually. But it's just the bend, don't break mentality that you got to have versus these guys, because you're going to give up big plays. But you can't compound that into a big drive. If Lamar scrambles, does a loop-de-loop, and throws it, and it's a 70-yard gain, hold him to a field goal. Like, the drive's not over. Don't be, get undisciplined because the crowd's going crazy because he did some MVP stuff. Like, bend, sure, it's going to happen. You're going to give up the big play. Henry's going to bust off a 30-yard run. It's going to happen. But you just can't. They can't be a drive winner. That can't automatically be 7 points. It's got to hold them to 3 or get a turnover. Those are you stop the momentum.
And if I'm a team right now, Baltimore or otherwise, I'm looking to attack the Lions through the air. I think there's some susceptibility on the back end right now. I think they're still trying to discover themselves. I'm not talking about Branch or Kirby Joseph, but I'm talking about your corners, DJ and Terrian. I think that there's some room there to do that. I just don't think that Baltimore has the true weapons to do that. Now, you saw Hopkins make an appearance again last week, and Zay Flowers, they move them all around the field. And there's a couple of other guys. I don't even know, is Likely back for this game, Isaiah Likely? I'm not positive if he is.
I haven't seen anything about it.
But you have Mark Andrews, obviously, who's gonna play, and they're gonna move him around the center and stuff. But the Lions are primed to be able to stop the run, and I think it's going to come down to his arm by design for the Lions and by design by the Ravens. So that's you got to obviously watch. It's amazing. He's 31 years old, and Derrick Henry's still doing what he's doing. I was never like a big Henry guy, but you watch him do this with different teams, and he's a one-cut runner. It isn't like, you know what I'm saying? You know what he's going to do. Everybody in the stadium knows what's going to happen, and he finds a way to do that with that upright running style, deceptive speed once he gets going. And of course, he's a load and he's hard to bring down, but the Lions are constructed to be able to stop that and meet force with force. So I don't think that that's going to be the difference. I think the passing game and your ability to stop Jackson or his ability to beat you with his arm, which is his weakest point, and it's his weakest attribute against the Lions' weakness. So who wins that battle? Execute on offense, run the ball, control the clock. I mean, these are always talked about. But you take what's there. If you could score quickly. But pound out some drives. I think you will see the Lions really try to assert the running game heavy, like as in heavy. You're going to take what you can get there. And I don't think Baltimore is as good defensively this year as they've been in years past. They've got a few players that are very, very good. Kyle Hamilton is a terrific player, and he just got paid. He could do a lot of things. They have a few guys, but they don't scare me. Unless the offensive line falls apart again, the Lions are in a great position to do a lot of things with the running game and the short passing game. Yeah,
losing Patrick Queen was huge. He was scary. He scared me. He's gone. He's in Pittsburgh, but yeah, I agree with you. There's so many things that all the things that are always talked about. Get third down stops are huge. Don't let them extend drives. Lions need to finish drives, so it could all come down to a lot of things, but definitely I would love nothing more than to see the Lions control the ground. That would be great to see Gibbs and Montgomery just go for 100 each. I would love that.
This is unique for me because I find myself week 2 and week 3 of a season saying they're must wins. Do you agree with that?
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I feel it too. But I think that might be a little bit of like fear of falling back to what we have always known.
Well, I'm not afraid of that because this isn't that. But this is an opportunity for you to go to 2-1 and go back home playing Cleveland next week. And you got to look at that.
Just to go forward, like a win tonight is bigger than a win tonight, if that makes sense. Like going into Baltimore when we're not a top 10 team apparently and winning is like that's a big step. That's like, okay, we're here, we've arrived kind of thing, as opposed to just going and winning a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, there's definitely meaning behind it, and I think it sets you up to go home against Cleveland, which should be a very winnable game, and those are usually the hardest ones to win, are the ones that everybody thinks you're supposed to win. So it's not like it's a given, and I have a feeling Dylan Gabriel's going to make his first start next week. We'll see about that, but whether he does or he doesn't, it isn't a given. And you can't look there until you take care of this. You're in Baltimore, your eyes and your focus has got to be on them. But if I'm a Lions player, coach, the organization, it's balls to the wall. It's early in the season. If you go to 1-2, your season's not over. I'm not going to sit here and say that. You have I had them in the beginning of the year, Luke, when we laid out this game, I had them losing this game.
Yeah.
If I recall.
I think I had them winning it.
Yeah, you might have. I think you're right. But I don't care what I said, 5 weeks, 6, 7 weeks ago, whatever it was. It's right now you have an opportunity to go out and do what you're supposed to do. And go out and prove. I don't give a shit whatever other people think. Prove to yourself as a team. That's first and foremost. The guys in the room, in the building, the organization. Is this real? No. Let me rephrase that. It is real. They're competitive and they can compete for the Super Bowl this and next and the year after. This is what the Lions are now. As much as I get into debates with people all the time, well, all of a sudden you think this and you think that. No, I don't think that. It shows that. It's not my opinion. They prove it. They show it. And this is yet one more. People will say, well, Baltimore's down and Baltimore this and Baltimore that. It's not a big deal. People will find ways to knock it, but you have to go out and do it because it's one more chink in the armor, so to say. You've gotten absolutely annihilated and destroyed in that building. You have to prove that you can go there and win because you never know if you have to play them. If you ever played them again down the road, it would be at a neutral site because they're in a different conference. But you get my point.
Yeah, last year or the year before, Lamar came into Ford Field and went crazy.
Yeah, and we've actually played them better at home than on the road. Lost that 61-yard field goal to Justin Tucker.
Yeah. That was but I think it was last year, 2 years ago. Lamar, they came in and put like 50 points on us or something. It was Lamar just looked like he could do no wrong. And
I don't think we're gonna see that. Man, I can't stand that guy. I just am not a believer. Somebody blew me up on YouTube the other day. He saw our top 10 quarterbacks or whatever it was. One of the videos that I think you were on it. And he was nailing me for saying that Justin Herbert was a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. And he was basing it on what has Herbert done, like in the playoffs and such, to be able to warrant that. And you have two franchises that were on different, time frames. So that's where that comes from. And I wasn't going to waste my time debating because he was very heavy on Lamar and I'm very heavy on Herbert. And I just can't convince him of what I just said. He had one franchise that was way ahead. You have another franchise that was way behind. Look at it for what it is and not the victories in the playoffs, but just the pure quarterback play is no comparison. But he believes the opposite. So
there's arguments either way. I know a lot of people that are very high on Lamar. I wasn't early, but he's proved me wrong in the way that I think he gets better passing every year. I think his arm he looks more comfortable dropping back to pass now than he did 2 years ago. and that's that it just is what it is.
I got you. Well, we'll get to the actual pick of that game coming up, but let's go ahead and get into the NFL here, Luke, and you're going to take it away and go through each of the sheets that we pull up here, starting with Raiders and Commanders. And by the way, we have 4 backup quarterbacks, I believe it is, playing this week. That didn't take long.
No.
10+% of the league has a backup quarterback playing. Jaden Daniels is obviously out. We'll get through it here. Let me just see this real quick. Justin Fields is out. Joe Burrow is out, and we should probably talk about Burrow before we get off the show today. And then Brock Purdy is out. So really interesting to see how this plays out. So the Raiders and Commanders without Jaden Daniels. Take it away, Luke.
Give me the Commanders. -3 at home. They need it. There's nothing else to say. I mean, this is an interesting game. This is actually what I'm looking forward to watching. But I think Commanders have a good defense. Raiders offense is struggling. Commanders -3. That one's, I'm not going to think too hard about it because Jaden Daniels is out. Next one, I got these kind of out of order, but give me
Falcons and Panthers.
Yeah, I got them all written down, but
Luke decided to go in a different order.
Yeah, mine are all out of order, but give me the Panthers +5.5. It's too many points. It's too many points. That's all. I don't think either offense is that good. I know there's talent on each side or whatever, but they're not elite offenses, and I don't like big points. And
this is going to be fun. Keep going.
I know you got the Falcons. I know you're a Falcons and Raiders guy this year. So, all right, give me the Packers covering that. They're an elite team. Elite teams are always blowing people out early in the season. That's the NFL fact. Every year, the Super Bowl champs, Bills are blowing everybody out. Ravens are usually blowing everybody out. This year, Packers are up there with them, and I think it gets ugly. Steelers, Patriots. Give me the Steelers. Bounce back week. They rarely lose 2 in a row under Tomlin, and it's a big identity game. We still don't know who the Steelers are, and I think Rodgers has looked pretty decent. For how bad he was in New York. So I'll take the Steelers for sure. Eagles, Rams. Give me the Rams +3.5. Again, this one might come down to a field goal. Eagles win by 3. I don't like the points here. The Eagles' offense is just too boring to, go big points. And Stafford, I got the Rams. I'm confident on that one.
Okay.
Eagles aren't going undefeated. They got to lose sometime. And then give me the Titans. Cam Ward gets his first win, and it's an upset at home in front of the new crowd.
Hold on. You just said Tennessee wins outright?
Yep.
Okay.
Winning and covering, yep. I think, I like Cam Ward. I like what I've seen from him, and no one's talking about him really, but I've been watching pretty closely, and he's getting there quickly, very quickly. I have to watch him. I said he's going to be the rookie of the year, so I'm keeping tabs big time. Bucks, Jets. I actually went Jets +6.5.
With Tyrod Taylor starting?
Bucks just haven't put it down on anybody yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
They haven't put it together?
Yeah, I mean, they're winning games. Baker's coming through on the last drive of the games, but maybe this is the week that it happens, and I completely blow this pick, but I got to see it first. They haven't, they haven't put the pedal to the metal yet, and I think they win by 4 or 5, maybe even 6. And Bengals, Vikings. I went Vikings -3. That backup quarterback in
Carson Wentz.
In Cincinnati?
No, Minnesota.
No, yeah. What's his name?
Minnesota's
Browning.
Carson Wentz, and Browning is the Bengals.
Yeah, Browning's a player, but I think Minnesota's built too well. We talked about this before. The Bengals put all their money into 3 guys, and the most important one's gone. They're empty. They don't. Minnesota's pretty evenly spread out. I think that's just a better team at home. I'll take the Vikings. Give me the Jags. I don't even have to look. I know I put Jaguars. Yeah, Jags minus 1.5. Trevor Lawrence. That's all I got to say. At home, it's his year. Then Saints, Seahawks. Actually, I think I went Saints on this.
Are you guessing, or is that your pick?
No, I'm Saints. I think, again, too many points. I like Rattler. I like how he's been. He looks good. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
He
I don't know if I'd say good. I don't know if I'd say good, but
well, it's hard to look good. They have nobody else really, or no protection or no defense. It's always bad field position. But he's not shy or scared or anything, and 7.5 is too much. And I know I'm high on Sam Darnold, but it's just too much. They're too not great. I mean, I don't see Seattle blowing them out.
Next one, which might be the game of the week, one of the games of the week. Chargers, Broncos. Oh,
what's that? You guys.
Let me get to the next page. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm out of order.
There you go.
Yeah. You're right. That is a good one. Give me the Chargers, though. I'll take the Chargers. Herbert at home, Harbaugh. They look like a perfect marriage right now, and I'm riding that out. Who's that? Cardinals, 49ers.
49ers and Cardinals.
Yep, I went 49ers.
Starting for the 49ers again.
Yep, I went 49ers. Just again, the roster is better. I know they're banged up right now, but they have too many playmakers, like even McCaffrey. And yeah, 49ers, 2.5. Not much. They win by a field goal. I'll take that happily.
Okay.
I wonder where we're going to be on this one. I was curious about this because you don't like either team. But I'm going Cowboys easy, covering 1.5. Only giving 1.5. Bears defense, not great. Dallas defense, not great. And what offense would you rather have, the Bears or the Cowboys? So I got the Cowboys. This one's going to shock you. I went Giants plus 5.5. Just Russ looked great. And how do you feel about that? Do you want to say how you feel about that?
I'll save it for when I get there. I'm trying not to show any emotion and trying not to give away no tells until it's my turn to pick.
Well, I'm saying because of the Jackson Dart thing, Russ looked really good, but Chiefs have been winning so close when they win. It's just like 5.5.
Do I need to tell you that Russell Wilson did that against who?
I know.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Lions plus 5.5. Bias shows through again. I think they win outright. Hopefully. We'll see. But yeah. Lions. That's just, I'm not even going to explain that.
All right. We agree on 11. So, and we disagree on 1, 2, 3, 4. So we agree on 11 and we disagree on 4. So we have that's a lot. A lot that we agree on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least there's 4 that we disagree on, and there's 3 on the college, so that's 7 total. So our records, it's like, he's 14-4 and he's 14-4. Well, that would suck. I mean, that would be good, but we got to keep this different a little bit. All right, so let me go back to the original screen here. All right, this is the first one where we're going to differ, and this doesn't have anything to do with my Raiders loyalty. This has to do with the Raiders are a better team than what we have seen, and I don't think that Washington will be able to handle this. I'm just not convinced of it. So I got the Raiders plus 3 right out of the gate. That's the first one we disagree on. The second one is the Falcons. I think that the Falcons are just waiting to explode. They are loaded. They are way better defensively than they have been in the past. And
Did you hear
wow,
that?
that was a weird beep. What the heck was that? Maybe somebody disagrees with me on the Falcons. Jeez. That was a piercing sound. Nothing like live streaming. So yeah, the Falcons are way better defensively than they have been in the past, and they're even better than I thought that they were. And then offensively, they're dynamite. They have weapons all over the field. Penix is a superstar, budding before our eyes. So you're going to see that more. And boy, Carolina, what you said boring. Who'd you say boring on earlier? You said somebody. Okay, yeah, you said the Eagles. If you want to talk boring, it doesn't get any more boring than the Carolina Panthers. Actually, I think the Cleveland Browns offense is better or more fun to watch than Carolina. So I've got the Falcons covering the 5.5. I know it's a touchdown or less is famous in the NFL, but I got the Falcons just too strong. The next game is the Packers, which I believe is the best team in the NFL right now. This is not a shock to me. I saw it coming prior to Micah Parsons. You had him in the mix, and that's just whoa. It is in Cleveland. Again, if there's a state or a city that I talk to the most, it's the people in Ohio. For the Browns, I definitely have a lot of idea of what's going on there. I think Dylan Gabriel's coming around next week. This one could get ugly. If there's any game on this board that can get ugly, it is this one. Again, Packers could do whatever they want offensively or defensively. So I got the Pack minus 7.5.
I had that too. We agree on that one.
Yeah. Yep. I have you circled in on my pick. So
I'm thinking you're going through. We just disagreed on the first two. I thought you were going, but
Packers minus 7.5, and that's probably near a 2-touchdown spread.
Yeah.
So we're back to disagreeing on the next one. I think that the Patriots. First of all, I think that the Steelers. There's some rooted issues there. I'm not sold on what they've done over there. Just not at all. It's in New England. They are a tough, hard-nosed, grit type of team. You still need to see development from Drake May and get freaking Travion Henderson in the game. There's a lot of new talented acquisitions that have gone to the Patriots because they had the most cap room to spend. So there's guys all over the place. It's a gelling process, and I just don't think that the Steelers are lighting anybody up. So I've got the home team plus 1.5, the Patriots there. Rams and Eagles. We actually agree on this, surprisingly. Not because I think that Philly has a boring offense, but 3.5, the Rams are a pretty damn good team. Stafford's battling through some things. That game should be nip and tuck the whole way. I don't see Philly pulling away from them because the Rams are pretty good defensively too. I think people lose track of that. They've got a couple of very, very good young players, and I think we'll see that come through. So I've got the Rams plus the field goal and a hook. All right, Colts. Where am I at here? Titans and Colts. I've got Tennessee at home with the 4.5. I love what I'm seeing from the Colts and Daniel Jones. Something has definitely changed over there. I don't think that, like you do, that Tennessee is going to win outright. I think the Colts win this game just a little bit short of the 4.5, so I have the Colts. Bucks and Jets at Tampa. This one could get
Colts or Titans.
I have the Titans with the 4.5. Titans plus 4.5, but the Colts win the game.
Okay.
Probably right around a field goal. We'll see. Cam Ward, this is his biggest test. He's at home. We'll see what happens. Buccaneers, this is setting up to get a little ugly. Love Aaron Glenn. Tyrod Taylor, he's not going to be able to do it. I agree with you that Tampa hasn't fully gelled as a team. I think this is the week you'll see that happen. They win. And that line is tempting. It's Vegas tempting someone to take almost a full touchdown. But I think Tampa wins this game by 10 or 11. Minnesota and Cincinnati. I've got Minnesota -3 over the Bengals. That's another one. Actually, we agree on that one. You're back in Carson Wentz, and I am too in the battle of the backups here. I've got Minnesota. at home minus the 3. Jacksonville, this line is short, in my opinion. In parentheses, I put should be 3. This is 1.5. I believe it should be 3. Your standard home field advantage. Jacksonville is good enough this year to be that. Houston, really, really good defensively, struggling mightily offensively, which is disappointing for me because I am a CJ Stroud guy. But Jacksonville's the play here, minus the 1.5. That's a field goal difference. New Orleans at the Seahawks. Yes, again, I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. Seattle's a completely different world these days. Kellen Moore might actually end up being one of the best young coaches in the NFL here. As if you're seeing, if you believe that Spencer Rattler is better, you can directly correlate that to Kellen Moore working with him. If you've heard some of the reports from New Orleans about Kellen Moore and what it's like to play for him and what that team thinks, what DeMario Davis said about that team, that he's a guy that you just want to play for and that you want to run behind. So that's a huge number for Seattle. This is not the 12th man home field like it used to be. Sorry, it's just not. They got players there, Ken and Jigba and
sure.
Walker, Kenneth Walker.
Though, man, and they got some players too in New Orleans.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They are devoid of talent, I would say, by comparison. But 7.5 is a lot there. So I'll take the Saints. Again, back to what I believe is probably the best game of the day, and I was torn by this because I love both teams. Sean Payton, but I'm a huge Bo Nix guy. Obviously, I'm on record calling more than a year ago calling Justin Herbert a Hall of Famer. I don't love Harbaugh. Just something about that guy. But you're right. This is a match made in heaven, just like Nix and Peyton is. This is very unique that way. But Justin Herbert is ahead of that of him. So I've got the Chargers minus 3 over the Broncos. So we agree on that one. There's several here in a row that we agree on. I'm not a believer in the Cardinals. I'm not a believer in the 49ers either, but Mac Jones should be able to handle that. It is a more talented roster. Cardinals have started off stronger, but I just think the 49ers here minus the 2.5. Look at the minus 115 at plus 2.5. So that tells you what's going on there, that more people believe in the Cardinals at plus 2.5 than they do at the 49ers at minus 2.5. All right, here's the question that you had earlier, the Cowboys and the Bears. So everybody knows I'm not a Ben Johnson guy. I went nuts on a video this week. Check it out on our feed at PB Sports Talks on X. He might end up being more of a disaster than I thought. Luke, and before I get on the pick, I got to throw this out there. What do you think of him coming in? He's been there 5 minutes, acting like he's the shit, acting like he's the man, and that he's done anything. This is his second game there. He's challenging his team. Our practice habits are XYZ. This is the pro level. It's different than the youth level, of course, different than the college level. What are your thoughts about what he said to the world and the attitude with which he said it?
He's so arrogant and so like, I don't know if he's transitioning from being a coordinator where there's different places to point in the franchise, but as the head coach, you got to point at yourself, dude. Like, if your practices aren't being run right, you're running the practice. It's your practice.
Well, he's not saying that the practices aren't run right. He's saying basically he's calling out guys for the effort. That's not how we practice. Yes, you can look at the coach, but I think he's pointing out guys, and I think DJ Moore might be one of the guys that he's saying but not saying.
I hear you, but that's still on you as the head coach. Like, especially, I mean, if you're going to do that, call it out in a team meeting. You don't do that. Like, I don't like them.
There's certain times that I do believe you do that, but you have to have a certain level of credibility to do that. And I went back and forth with some guys. You are a 2-game head coach, period. Right. You have no background as a head coach, no credibility as far as I'm concerned to be able to say something at this point. Maybe at week 10, 12, it might be a little bit different because you need to shake shit up. And you know, from me as coaching you, There's times that we understand as a coach where I got to rattle some people and I have to get a message across. But you better have a track record to do that. And he has zero track record. I'm going to say this for the 1 millionth time. The Lions are as successful as they are and have been for multiple reasons, none of which are Ben Johnson, or they are way down the list. It starts and ends with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Okay? Like I said in the video earlier this week when I went, Ben Johnson, he didn't sneak over on the sidelines, right? When a 52-piece freaking hot wings with extra fire sauce was put on his ass. He had nothing to do with that. Am I correct, Luke?
Yeah, you're correct. Hey, and then how good did Jared Goff look?
Five touchdowns?
Oh my God.
And then the son of a bitch, and excuse my language, the son of a bitch is referring to him as, the quarterback over there. He won't even say his name. What the, and I think I hit it, and I didn't script it out. It just came out, and sometimes that's best. I think that Ben Johnson is so insecure that he wants to take the credit for the Lions' success and won't give any to Goff. He won't.
Goff, I think Goff feels the same way, and he took that personally. And that's the best I've ever seen Goff look was last week, and it really wasn't talked about or anything. I didn't see anything about it. Maybe that it's just not on my social media, but he looked good. He looked comfortable. He looked quick. He was putting zip on the ball, quick decisions. He was even spinning out of the pocket. I was like, who is this MVP right here?
I watched every camera angle, and I did not see Ben Johnson sneak over to the Lions sideline and input some plays. I was looking for it, but he stayed on his sidelines, and I don't think they wired him in on the mics. So just for the record, Ben Johnson, you got your ass whipped, and believe you me, because Brian Branch said it, and I said this in the video, he probably shouldn't have said it, but he goes, oh yeah, we were motivated, but we love Ben. No, they got pissed about what that guy did and the way he conducted himself, and you go running your mouth about Green Bay. This isn't the first comment or lack thereof about Goff. He's done it before this, and now he's doing it again. Dude, let your merits stand on their own and go earn your shit. You haven't done a damn thing in this league as a head coach, and you're calling out grown men on basically call it national television. It went viral. It's all over. I'm connected with people in Chicago, and I'm not surprised. But yet at the same time, I'm surprised. If you want to give yourself a chance to not succeed in the NFL, then do what Ben Johnson did. The guy has got himself way over. He thinks he's something that he's not. It's just so amazing. And if you're good, let it play through. Show that you can do it again. Be secure in what you're doing and let the merits of your work and the product come through, like Campbell and Brad Holmes did. Look at all the heat they took when they started. Did they come out and start doing all this and that? They just did it.
Right.
And the guy did it before the first game, this is my problem. It's not even like you're trying to motivate your guys by embarrassing them a little bit. He shot his mouth in initial press conferences. And so did his general manager a couple of years ago. You have to pull that clip if you've never seen what Ryan Poles did. And we're going to win the Super Bowl or something as he's combing through some documents. It's a shit show, and I don't think it's going to go well. So I got the Cowboys in this game. As much as I don't like the Cowboys, you might see another whoop ass because the Bears defense is terrible. And the number one strength of the Cowboys is their offense. They're on the road. They're not in, Jerry world, but I will be rooting for the Cowboys with everything I got to put a 40-piece up.
Yep.
I'm praying for it. Literally praying for it.
That's going to be great. Go. Yeah, that's going to be fun. We're going to be rooting for the Cowboys again.
I'm actually rooting for the Cowboys. You might run a plane. Well, you're not in Florida to run it across the ocean, but says PB likes the Cowboys this week. Yeah. You might want to frame this video.
Start a time.
We
enjoy you liking the Cowboys for 24 more hours.
Yep. Yeah. A little bit more because it's at 4:25, 4:26 they play. All right, Chiefs and Giants. We're actually in agreement here. The 5.5. I don't think that the Chiefs should be giving anybody 5.5. I really don't. And there's already talk about Jackson Dart next week. We shall see. I can't wait for that day to happen. I thought it might be this week because it's the first home game for them. 5.5's a lot in New York. I'm not a believer in Kansas City till they get all their guys back. You want to talk about a boring offense? It's just literally peeling paint watching them. It's hard to watch.
That's my team, and they got to win games without their guys. But they're not going out there beating people. They're not killing anybody right now. But they do need to win games until they get their guys back.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals. Bengals got to – how long's Burrow out? Did they even say yet? They don't know yet?
Probably 3 months.
Oh.
About 3 months.
All right. Well.
Surgery on the toe. And then even when he comes back, you know this. Game speed and game conditioning, there's nothing you can do on a bike. There's nothing you can do inside the practice facility or whatever that's going to replicate what it is to be in a game-like situation. So add 2 more to that. 2 more games to that just for him to get in the flow. Boy, if you're a Cincinnati fan, how must you feel today?
I've been very outspoken about how I feel about Joe Burrow, like to my friend group and everything, and on social media. I'm not a fan. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a product of like he had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in college. That's ridiculous. That's like ridiculous. He had the 2 best receivers in the whole NFL on his college team. That's never happened before. I mean, he's whatever, but. So people are texting me like, you're probably so happy right now or whatever. I wish the guy could stay healthy. I would never, I've had my own injury problems. That sucks when you put so much work in to get healthy and then something else happens and it's just a domino effect. But it's shaping up to be like, it's getting to the point where what does he do? Is he, I don't know. Andrew Luck retired at 29 from injuries and,
You're thinking that he might retire?
I'm not saying I don't think he'll retire, but something's got to happen. Something's got to shake. He's got to get out of there, or they got to do something. You can't keep going this way. They continue to lose
here. He can get injured someplace else. Which part of it are you speaking about?
I'm just saying that the career trajectory.
He needs a change of scenery. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying something needs to happen because. If you go back 3 years, it was like, okay, Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback, and he's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal until he retires, and he's going to win all these different things or whatever. And now when you look at it, it's like, is that still what you think? Is that still where we are?
That's not a Joe Burrow thing, though, in my opinion.
That's what I'm trying to say is like it's got to be – there's a bunch of different factors. Injuries, I don't think he's that good. I think it's a front office thing. They're not giving him, he's got 2 good receivers and what else?
Why do you say he's not that good?
I don't think he I don't know. I just don't
let's assume that he stays healthy.
Right.
I'm like, I'm like a little bit surprised. Where are you getting this from?
That he's not that good.
When he's actually healthy, with what he has to work with, and he's actually playing consecutively. You're not. I mean, I think we did the top 10 quarterbacks, and I'm not sure exactly where you had him, but you had him in the top 10, and I thought you were pretty confident about that.
Yeah, no, when I say he's not that good, he gets talked about with the top 3.
Well, screw those people. We want to know what you think. Are you saying this?
No, I'm saying he lives around 7.
Okay, you said something's got to change.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got to stay healthy. Beyond that, you want him to leave Cincinnati and go someplace else and try a new change of scenery to prove that he is what everybody has made him out to be?
Yeah,
because you said he had the 2 greatest, NFL receivers in college, and that basically was why he is where he is. It sounds like.
So basically, what I'm saying is, I feel like I'm getting a consolation prize because I've been saying for so long that he's not that good and he's not going to be this like. I've been saying Herbert's better since the draft, and I'm getting like yeah, like a consolation prize because he can't stay healthy. And I wish that he would stay healthy and play and like because
But
there's just so much
that doesn't
pressure.
make him not a good quarterback. That
No,
means
but-
he can't freaking stay healthy.
right, but it alters the trajectory of his career big time. He hasn't done it.
But that's
for
not
years.
a knock on his ability,
But we
his
can't- but we can't talk
quarterbacking
about
ability.
when
What's
he's
that?
not playing. We can't talk about his ability when he's constantly out.
I got it, but
I-
that's not a knock on his ability as a quarterback. It's a knock on his ability to stay healthy. And that can directly be correlated to a shit ass offensive line that has been historically the Bengals run themselves into the ground. Like that's not on him either. The
I
fact
get it.
that team has had as much success as they have had in that moment there where they had the really great year, I think you could directly put that on him before anything else, right? Like he's basically the reason or one of the leading reasons that they got there. Would you agree with that?
Maybe not. I don't know.
If you put
saying.
Joe Burrow on a team that has an offensive line, we're not even having this conversation.
Oh, I love where this is going because this is what I think. I said this on our first show together. There's certain people like Joe Burrow that when you talk about Lamar or Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, it's like these are all knocks, but Joe Burrow, because he can't stay healthy. I don't know why, but he gets all the excuses that you could think of. Everything, but the one time they were good, it was all him, right? He gets all the credit, but when he
you
does
saw what the guy did. Like this is not my opinion. It's all on film. What the guy can do, the throws the guy can make,
sure,
making everyone around him better. I mean, the guy is legit.
He's a good player.
And I'm not a big Burrow guy, but I'm going to call the shit as I see it.
I'm a Burrow hater, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a hater and I'm not a lover, but I'm going to tell you, if the guy is healthy, for any team that is properly managed and equipped, we're never having this conversation, Jamar Chase or not. You put him on Philly, how's he doing? You put him on the Lions, how's he doing?
Philly's different, but yeah, the Lions.
San Diego, we can go and pick any team that's got a reasonable facsimile of an offensive line, and the guy is legit, and he's historically one of the worst defenses over the last 5 years. Not historically, but statistically, one of the worst defenses. So dude's got to go out and score 42 points to even have a chance to win, essentially.
Right, but when that happens for a Trevor Lawrence, it's like, he's a bust.
No, I never said that. I mean,
not you directly, but that's just.
And he's been hurt a lot too, and he's had the inability to stay healthy. Every 5 minutes, dude's hurt. I want to see him stay healthy, and there's no Urban Meyer there.
I think Burrow has just been. He had that one good year. He had a good year last year stat wise, trailing in every game and just throwing 50 passes a game. But like we talked about on a previous show, no one was watching the Bengals last year. He put up numbers, but if you watch the games, he cost them games. He threw interceptions late in the game. He fumbled. I don't know what game it was, but he fumbled twice in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, this is the guy that everyone's saying. But when you looked at his stats, they were 400 yards and all this stuff. But I think he's just a benefit of the what if. Like Herbert is a little bit too. Like if Herbert had a better receiver, but he's finally starting to, come through. I think not Trevor Lawrence, my bad. Burrow is if he had a good O-line, if he had a better defense, if he could stay healthy. It's all there's so much if. Like get him out of let him prove something. I know he had a good year, but that was a good defense.
Did he not go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Did he have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the quarterback. Of course, someone goes to the Super Bowl.
Right now, who are the two worst two or three? Who are the top 2 or 3 worst franchises the way that they're run in the NFL right now? Browns. Who would you put in that class?
Browns, obviously, and Saints. No, Saints are. They made a good hire at head coach.
It happens to be in the state of Ohio.
I know what I know what you want me to say. I don't want to say it. It's probably the Bengals. Yeah, probably the Bengals. But
if you put Lamar Jackson on another team, you have Lamar Jackson. If you put Joe Burrow on another team, like a quality team, what do you get? That's an all-world quarterback. And again, I am not a Joe Burrow guy.
I don't know.
I am not a Joe Burrow guy. I'm a Justin Herbert guy.
Okay. So what does Joe Burrow do better than Justin Herbert?
He could do everything basically that Herbert does.
I don't
Pretty
think so.
much. He's not as big as him. He can move like him. He can hit any pass off any platform in any game in any moment. There is no moment too big for him. But you have to remember what you're comparing. You have apples at the Chargers and you have oranges at the Bengals.
Not always, though. Not always. Not in the beginning of his career for Herbert.
Well, Herbert was just slinging it.
Yeah.
He was just slinging it. And that's where I became a believer because that team was broken too. They are a better team all around now than they were then. And They actually pulled Herbert back and they made him required him to do less, in my opinion. So he can beat you doing less and he can beat you doing more. I think that's the case with Burrow too. Burrow doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game. Well, with that defense he does. But if you had a more well-rounded team, he can beat you in a more conservative game approach. Or if you're going against the Buffalo Bills and you have to light it up to keep up, he can do that.
But he doesn't.
Well, he has. It's not that he could. He has.
So
he has proven that.
One season.
No.
One season.
No. And you have to remember what he did last year coming off. I mean, that's his freaking throwing hand, Luke. You know this.
I know,
as a former quarterback.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And he said to this day, it's not functioning the same. And when it gets cold, it's really bad.
Yeah. No, 100%. My point, my argument, and we can move on, is I wish that he could stay healthy. I wish that he could get out of this organization and go somewhere where he can actually do these things that everybody's saying that he does. Because I haven't seen this Joe Burrow, best quarterback in the NFL, generational talent that everybody else.
I don't think anyone's called him the best quarterback in the NFL. I haven't heard that. I've heard people say one of the best. He is not the best quarterback in the NFL. I think it's pretty clear who that is.
Oh, okay. Josh Allen.
Yes.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mahomes.
No, you got to. I think it's time that we put Josh above. It's time I put him above. That's a guy who could do anything against anyone at any time. And I would sit here and tell the world
that he has not
had the most talent around him.
No,
he has not.
He hasn't had the best.
Cook is evolving and he's becoming something. But this is another Brady type of guy where it's Shakir and it was Gabe Davis, and you could go Dawson Knox. I mean, you can go through all these kind of guys. These are not sexy guys. Yeah, he had Diggs there for a while, and now they're bringing in Keon Coleman and going to try to grow him in the system, and brought Palmer over, Justin Herbert's guy, Palmer from San Diego. He can win with anybody basically in any way, and he can offset certain things offensive line wise. And by the way, the Bills defense has been a sieve. And he's had to win games by outscoring other teams too.
I'm a big huge Josh Allen.
And I'm not saying Joe Burrow is Josh Allen this year or last year. I'm not going to sit here and make that what I believe is a dumb argument. But I can't take away things from Joe. When I assess somebody, I have to look at the total circumstance.
If we go back to the beginning of last year, Joe Burrow was higher than Josh Allen on the quarterback ratings.
Yeah, there might have been some people out there. It wasn't on mine. And I think you'd have to look. I think you would have more people that had Allen above him last year.
But it shouldn't be a conversation.
Well,
I don't think it's close. I think Burrow is closer to Trevor Lawrence than he is to Josh Allen. And that's all I'm saying. Because Trevor Lawrence isn't in people's top 10s. You were appalled when I put Trevor Lawrence in my top 10, but I can safely put Burrow at 4.
I wasn't appalled. I've watched them quite a bit, and I'll be honest with you. A couple of years ago, there were times where I had a lot of money on his games, and I understand that team really well, and they kept on changing shit. And Shad Khan was just like, oh my God, hire after hire after hire. It's like, holy shit.
Right. He's had a that could be up there with a bad run organization too.
It was, yeah.
He's had no help anywhere doing anything.
And now he's got 2 first-time GM and head coach.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying. And he gets no leeway or anything. But Burrow's like, he's got this problem. His coach, dude, he's got the best receiving core in the league, probably. What are you talking about?
Well,
why can't Trevor Lawrence get a little bit of love?
Mike, I think he's about to.
Good.
I really do.
Thank you. And I'm glad
it's hard for people to have taken the Jaguars seriously. Like, let's just be honest. I think people historically are going to take the Bengals more seriously. The Jaguars haven't really been a thing since Mark Brunell was their quarterback, right? Yeah. So Lawrence hasn't stayed healthy either. And you go hire Urban Meyer, and people didn't take that organization seriously. So give it a minute, and people are warming up to it, and they're going to start to say,
5 years.
This actually might be the best team in Florida. I think you're going to start seeing people say that you got to take them seriously.
Bucks.
Like, I'm not saying they're better than the Bucks. I'm saying they might be. Start having that conversation. Who's better, the Bucks or Jaguars? You wouldn't say that last year. You wouldn't say that the year before.
That's
so
true.
we can go on till the cows come home here, but this is a great example of why you don't put $126 million in 3 players. You don't. Like, they got, what's his name over there, Tinsley now? That's what you do when you are building a team and you're developing. You've got to take off the radar guys and let those guys evolve and develop and let them become your T. Higgins. You don't go give T. Higgins all that money. Sorry, and I don't care what Burrow wanted. Burrow wanted that to be done.
Yeah,
you cannot spend that money. So I was saying preseason or even preseason is like, what if one of those 3 guys get hurt? And I wasn't thinking Burrow. I was thinking, what if it was Chase or what if it's Higgins? Now What do you got? That was assuming Burrow was okay.
Yep.
Now he's not just out for a week or 2 like Jaden Daniels or Brock Purdy. This is 3 months. Again, 3 months. And it's not 3 months. It's 3 months plus. You cannot. And he's coming back in the cold too, by the way. How's the toe going to respond? He's got the finger or the wrist issue. It's a shit show. And I would hate to be an Ohio sports fan right now. I mean, yeah, you got the Buckeyes that won a national championship last year. But as far as on the pro level, I wouldn't want to be in Ohio right now. Hard to get behind either one of those teams. All right, the last game here back on the picks was Monday night. Was Monday night, the Lions and the Ravens. You call it a homer, call it whatever you want. Plus 5.5 is a lot of points. If they lose this game, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's sizable by 6 or more. You see the minus 115 there, tells you a lot. You also see that on the over at 52.5. You might see some points here. I think the Lions are susceptible on defense, but they're structured to stop the run. Going to be an interesting game to watch. I'll certainly be tuned in. I'm pumped up, fired up. To me, it's a must-win. I'm on record. Hear me loud and clear. The Lions must win this game for more reasons than one, not because I'm picking them plus 5.5 or because Luke picked them. But, the Lions plus 5.5 to round out the NFL Week 3. What I would say, Luke, as we begin to wrap the show here, is that it's so interesting. The NFL week to week, it changes. A lot of things, as much as it stays the same, things change, as that phrase goes. It's interesting to watch some of the teams that were really expected to do some things this year. Minnesota, Washington, quarterbacks out. How are they going to respond? The Bengals, right? People were excited putting those 3 together. How are they going to respond? And not only how are you going to respond, like, again, it goes back to the backup quarterback. Can he do something in a spot, like a week, maybe 2? The defenses start preparing. The Wentzes get exposed. The Brownings get exposed, etc. If Browning was a legit starting number 1, everybody would have been trying to poach him for years now, because there's about 12 teams that would die to have a solid number 1. He's not that. So it's interesting to watch this evolve and watch how teams adjust. It's quick. That's 4 or 5 quarterbacks in week 3 already down.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I feel like almost every year.
It does, but this is like kind of early. It's
Yeah,
kind of early, and it's
that's
kind of
cool earlier.
to a few key teams.
Yeah, especially the big names like the Daniels and Burrow is like,
Yep.
geez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely changes things. It changes the trajectory of the season here real quick. You can kind of get behind the 8 ball and then play the chase game. And if you're trying to chase, no pun intended, if you're trying to chase when you have your backup quarterback, minds change, confidence changes, lots of things happen. And I'm not sure they're equipped coaching wise either to manage this. They don't have a particularly strong running. I'm talking about Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They don't have a particularly strong running game to lean on. They definitely don't have the offensive line. So, like, if Goff went down, I mean, please don't go down. They don't have the backups. They don't have the backups to win, and a defense would just key on the run. But Cincinnati, while you have Browning, that's better than anything the Lions have backing up Goff.
Yeah.
You have very little running game. You have basically your running back is a pass catcher.
Yeah.
Largely.
Who I do like. I do like Chase Brown. I think he's a good player.
He's not your typical between the tackles kind of guy.
No, he's not. But you know why I like him is because he doesn't cost $500 million.
I agree with that.
You can like wake up Cincinnati. He's like one of your best offensive players, and you don't need to pay these guys that much money. T. Higgins doesn't need to be making that much money.
Yeah, I like T. Higgins. He's got a nice game, but there's a lot of T. Higgins out there. And one is in Detroit, sitting on the bench, and isn't even being used right now, except for these one-handed catches.
Yeah, I know.
We better see him. We better see him. I like Khalif. I like Khalif a lot. He's a very unique player to play in the slot, but Tesla can play the slot. You have to have that type of talent in the game. The excuse 2 weeks ago was he was sick and he missed a lot of practice during the week. Then he had a few more reps, makes that catch. This is not fake, folks. Dave Portnoy from Barstool comes out and says, who the hell is this guy? Like, Dave, you got your hands full with a lot of things. What we see in Detroit, this thing was pegged a long time ago, and I saw a dude at Arkansas, and he was no joke. It's just he wasn't playing in a passing system.
Right.
But the Lions saw through it and gave up a lot to get him. Get his ass in the game. Let him learn in the game. Don't hold him back.
Yeah, I mean, he's played, 2 plays, and they've both been fade balls down the sideline. Hopefully, there's not a problem with him. I don't think there is, but
there was originally. People were saying that there was talk about that, but I don't think yes, I don't think that. Well, he just didn't have a lot of that. He was the deep guy at Arkansas, and it's not a passing scheme. So now you're trying to put him in that type of offense. Yeah, there's some adjustment, but he's better than a 10, 12 rep a game guy. Going to be interesting, Luke, and we'll have to figure out a way to make this kind of creative. We're going to track these picks and see who's better, but we got to put some thought into this, and maybe somebody out there's got an idea of, without it being money, of how I can make Luke freaking I don't know, have to do something, because he's going to get beat. And this is not just a this week thing. This is going to be over the course of time. And it's all, here's the receipts, man. The receipts are right here. There ain't no hiding. Oh, I changed my mind.
I'm not. We're good. I'm good.
If somebody gets injured in a walkthrough today, you can't change your mind for tomorrow.
You can't change your mind.
No, I'm not. I got who I got, and I'm going with that. Anything else here, Luke, before we wrap?
We would, though. 11's a lot. What is it, 16, 15 games?
You thought we would disagree more?
Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50 shot with the spread.
Yeah, well, I think that we're like-minded in a lot of ways. That's about right. Honestly, it started out like, holy shit, this might be all disagreeing. But no, that's about where I thought. I think we'll see 4 or 5 a week and the pros that are different. It's a lot of games. So we'll see what happens. Anything you want to, any final thoughts you want to round out? Anything in the world of sports that you want to hit here?
I don't know. I'm excited for this Michigan game.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the Cowboys beat the shit out of the Bears. I'm really and truly looking forward to that. Like, I'm literally in Florida and I'm rooting for the Cowboys. I cannot believe that. Yes, I said it. I am rooting for Brian Schottenheimer, who I think is a coordinator, and your boy CD and the guy I don't like, Dak, to just load up and not just beat them, but embarrass them. This guy needs to come back down to earth, and I'll be watching it. All right, everybody. That's week 51. That's a wrap. Hope everybody has an awesome, awesome weekend. If you use the picks, use them wisely. Everybody enjoy. Lots of great things going on in the world of sports. I say it every week. I'll say it again. Hug someone, hold someone, love someone. Life is truly, truly short. Enjoy, Luke. Have a great day. I'm sure we'll talk. We'll be going back and forth about the picks.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Follow us on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.